So strap in and get ready.
The leaders in AFL SuperCoach are incoming, helping you win your leagues and climb up the rankings.
You're now listening to the Insight AFL Show with your hosts, Big Horse and Skitty.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the review show for this week on the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. I'm your host for tonight, Deadly, as we are missing Mick again. The horse has got the Rona, and he's been bedbound for the whole weekend, pretty much, the poor bloke. But he had a good SuperCoach week, so he can't be too mad. But joining me tonight, I have two beautiful legends. Hurls, how are you, mate?
I'm really good, mate. Good to be here to talk all things SuperCoach. It's been a really interesting round, some massive scores, and some people absolutely hating the fact that they captained Lachie Whitfield and the captain didn't score in their 18, which is, I think, the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know if it's happened before, but I've never really seen it.
Yeah, I can't say I've had it happen to me until tonight in NRL as well, but that's the story for another time where I'm not so sad. Other special guest tonight, Flanders. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. How are you?
I'm living my best life. You know how it goes.
Living the dream, mate.
That's it. Don't own Luke Jackson, don't own Bont, but I'm still up and about.
Positivity.
That's it. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be a standard review show. We'll go through every single game and we'll answer your questions at the end. So feel free to drop them in whenever and we will answer them all at the end. Before we jump into the games tonight, the show tonight is brought to you by the day one sponsor of the Insight Show, the Standard Squeeze. Use the promo code on screen, IFS 2025, for 15% off your order on all their great products. And first order of business tonight, gents, it's probably to talk about Luke Jackson, isn't it? The squeeze winner this week, top scorer, 186. It was sort of always bound to happen once Vigo was named to debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We called it. It was going to be ugly. I thought Vigo did okay, but not in terms of stopping his opponent, just in terms of actually marking the footy himself and stuff like that. So he showed enough for an 18-year-old, but Jackson is just a great clearance ruckman. He just dominated. He kicked three. He gets forward. He's bloody hard to stop. I think there's going to be some good rucks that really struggle to stop him. So did a great job. And those who VC'd him were laughing all weekend.
That's it. Yeah, I didn't own him, but it was just sort of, you can make it happen, 100% do it, because this was a guy that was always just going to go huge. And I'm hoping personally he keeps his forward status next year so we can get him again. But looks unlikely at the minute. Luke Ryan, back to his big, just a huge game from him. 32 touches, 12 marks in that little shitty chip kick role that he had. Caleb Sarong was massive, 2 goals, 35 touches for 149 SuperCoach points. Geordie Clark, 33 touches for 119. Josh Tracy, 3 goals for a 112, impressive by him. Andy Brayshaw, 103 as well. Look, it was just sort of always going to be a day for Freo players, and Essendon suffered.
Yeah, they did. It was a really good game for all the Freo guys. Pretty much everyone, all the big names put up big numbers. Yeah, Jackson, Sarongs, Clarks, Brayshaws. Like Bolton's probably the most disappointing one there in a game that he really should have had a big day out. He probably didn't have as big of a day out as you'd expect, but other than that, all the other big games went well.
What do you do, Flanders, if you got Bolton? Somehow they seem to have now brought Fife into the midfield forward mix, which has meant Bolton pretty much played a lot of the game in the forward 50. Are you worried? Are you trading him? Are you holding? What's going on?
I think at this point of the year, you sort of got to hold. Like he's had a reasonable game. I don't see Fife permanently being in the team in the starting 22. I could see him being the sub quite frequently, and you just got to hope he gets back to the mix. It's probably a similar boat to Rankin, but most people picked him up for sub 400 grand. So you can't be too upset in the end when his bad scores are a 65 and his ceiling's 130 plus.
Yeah, true. 100%. Yeah, he also suffered a bit in CBA reduction thanks to Corey Wagner tagging Zach Merritt, who, Wagner himself had 55% and Bolton only the 21%, which is the lowest of the year for him so far. So at this point, you probably expect it to jump back up. And I think you just got to hold. For the rest of the Freo list, not too much going on, SuperCoach relevancy-wise. For Essendon, though, your man, Hurls, Jai Colwell, you'll pick up from a few weeks back. He's been thriving.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing what I hoped he would do. He had the role. We knew he was going to be the highest or second highest CBA player at the Bombers. So he's done well since I bought him. I think he's got 103 and then 125 or something like that. So, yeah, great value. Those who had the need for value in that first week, now next week might be a bit of a worry for him if they bought both of these blokes in. Stewart and Caldwell both been fantastic for their prices when they were ripe there, but both on the bye next week, which could hurt if you went both of them.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. Big week this week with buys. It's probably 100% my worst week for the buys, and I'm assuming a lot of people are in a similar boat. Darcy Parish, 31 touches for 115. Jackson Pryor with a nice game for 94 SuperCoach points. Nick Martin, who just continues to keep on keeping on, 93. Zach Merritt. Now, he's been a big topic throughout the past month, to be honest. A lot of the experts, they're sort of ripping into him and Scott for not playing him in the midfield. But if you go off just base SuperCoach scores, he's got 93, 81, 100, and 92 in the past month. Are you very worried? Like, if you're still an owner?
Yeah, I am still an owner, and I am still worried. If there's a week that I'm going to get off him, it'll be this week. Like, he's on the bye. I have the perfect excuse to get off him. He has typically been a back half sort of guy. And with, I think you guys got the 3 Rs coming back just after the buys as well. So you'd hope that forms some form of solidarity down back. They don't want to move him down back then. And hopefully he can get a bit of his mojo back through the midfield, because that we would have thought moving him to half back could get him some better touches, but it's not doing anything to really help him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's really not providing at all. Moving down the Essendon list, Nate Caddy, a good game. Archie Roberts, another good game as well for him. Archie May is a interesting one. Bottom dollar forward. Obviously, probably not going to go this week on him. But if you need a downgrade option in round 17, is he probably the guy now, Hurls?
If you can wait, I probably would. I know a lot of us are probably doing nearly our last trades for a while next week, where we try to, upgrade our team and stuff. But look, there's every chance he does stay in the team post buys. But when Langford comes back, I don't think Essendon can play Langford, May, Caddy, and Wright all in the forward 50. That would be far too tall. Yep. So do they bring Langford back in another spot, for example, or do they do something else? They're not going to move Caddy. Obviously, he's the future. So I think if you're going to go there, 99K unlocks the most cash anyway, so it's not a bad play. But there is a world where he doesn't play in the team after round 17. I hope that's not the case, because I really like what he looks like. But it's hard to get a read on what we will do, because there's so many missing. I don't know what the selection is going to look like, and the same will happen down the other end with Zach Johnson. And does he lose his spot when Reid, Ridley, and Redmond come back? So it's a bit hard to read Essendon, because Scott did say he's going to keep some of these kids in the team, but which ones and for how long and that kind of stuff becomes a bit of a guessing game.
Yeah, 100%. Vigo Vicentini on debut, 71 points, not too bad. Goldie will come straight back in. He should drop straight back out after the buys. Angus Clark, 65, sort of resetting his cash gen a bit. He has a break even of 35 this week, and then goes into a 10 the week after that if he scores 60. So is Clark a guy that you're looking to jump off Flanders, or is he one that potentially could be a swing for the rest of the season with his job security?
I think for my structure, I've got Bowen already in the team, and I've got Bustling is pretty dead on the bench there. So Clark will make way probably this week for me. to make way for Tom McCarthy. So I'll have the swing between Bo Allen and McCarthy to defence. But that's the only reason why. It's just the poor timing of the late buy. But if I can have the ability to hold him for one more week, I will. But yeah, he's pretty much got to make way this week for McCarthy.
Yeah, are you sort of in the same boat, Hurls? Just jump off because you have to buy? Or...
I think it's team dependent. He's going to have probably 215, 220 on his head, something like that. If you need to go down to a McCarthy, it's a no-brainer because they play, they got both defence. McCarthy's got the mid-swing as well. I've got Campbell Gray and McCarthy already on my bench, and then Clark was on my field. So my last upgrade next week is going to be a defender. So I either dump Gray, who has that DPP, which is nice, and keep Clark, or I, depending on the cash, if I need that cash, I'll dump him, Clark. But I would love to hold him as bench cover because I think he'll go back to the wing when those defenders come back. I think he'll stay in the Essendon team.
Good shout. And yeah, moving further down the list, Xavier Dersma subbed out with hammy awareness for a 47. And Zach Johnson only scoring a 32, sort of halts any cash gen really, comes into, after the buys with a 15 break even. And then even then, if he scores a 60, he goes into a 50. So it's probably safe to offload him this week if you need to. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'm probably making way with, I've got Thomas Sims as well, so I'm probably going to get 3 rookies out, Sims, Clark and Johnson, get in a Primo and Tom McCarthy and someone else.
Beauty, love to see it. Moving on to the next game, boys, Geelong versus Brisbane, and Brisbane come away with a pretty easy win in this one in the end. But for Geelong side of things, Tommy Stewart, he's sort of kicked back into gear and is back in that role that he's always had, where he's just sort of sitting behind the play, just doing whatever the hell he wants. And, this was always sort of the thing around the time where we were looking at getting him is if he goes back into this role, what can he do? And he's, since, going back into it, he's comfortably averaging over 105. If you need a defender, it's probably not him because they do have the bye this week, but the ship's probably sailed for Stewart, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably 3 weeks ago when he was, was he? I think it was 420, something like that.
429.
Now on the buy with, what's he up to? Maybe 500K. I'm not sure I'd be going there when you can probably wait. If you're waiting for one last defender spot with what happened today, Whitfield's going to be your man in a few weeks, right? If you're patient, because he's going to drop a shit ton of cash in the next 2 or 3 games.
Yep, 100%. Maxi Holmes, he's been elite, 110 from him. Tommy Atkins, he's also been fantastic this season for a 108. Bailey Smith, an 85, a little bit lower for him, but I'm not too worried about it at all. Further down the Geelong list, we see Jack Martin, who's starting to impress a lot more. And, I know some people have him. Obviously, you got the buy, you're not bringing him in. But, yeah, if you got him, it looks like he's keeping his spot now, right, Jack Martin, you'd think, Flanders?
Yeah, he seems to be swinging both forward and back for them as well. He spent a portion of the time forward. So he's probably going to play as that swingman for them to cover off a hole as they need. And, yeah, I think Geelong have always liked having people who can do that. They don't like one-dimensional players, having someone who can rotate through a midfield and then a defence line or midfield forward. They always like having someone who can play 2 positions, and Martin ticks that box for him.
Yep, 100%. Paddy Dangerfield, congrats on the huge game milestone for him. But besides that, not too much going on for Geelong Supercoach-wise. For Brisbane, Hugh McCluggage, he has just been unbelievable this season, is the only real way I can put it, averaging upwards of 120 now. And, yeah, if you jumped on him as a pod very early on, you've been I don't know, he's been great, so you've been happy with it, I suppose.
Absolutely. He's sitting pretty nicely in 8th average overall, and that includes some anomalies like McCarthy and Prestia wouldn't be at that anymore. He's going to drop out with his 52 today, but that hasn't updated yet. So he'll go up to 7th. And yeah, he's been fantastic. he's hard to tag because he's just he's a little bit like the bloke we just mentioned earlier from the opposition, Bailey Smith. They just run all day. If you try to tag them, they just outrun you, and probably Dacos did the same this week. So yeah, hard blokes to stop when they can get you both in the contest and with their gut running.
Yep, 100%. Harris Andrews, who was able to sit in the hole a bit more in this game, 129 for him. Will Ashcroft, he's been fantastic, and he's sort of been a guy that at the stage we're in, if you had him at M8 and you held him through this time, you'd be happy with it, just due to the simple fact that some of these other guys have been very poor, and for the price you got started with Will Ashcroft at, you take that.
Yeah, for sure. It was very, very cheap, and pick him up for good value. It was good value, and if you got him, just hold.
Yeah. What do people do, you reckon, Flanders, if you did buy a few too many round 16 buy players and your plan was, all right, well, Ashcroft's going to stay till the buy, do you change your plans now and just go, stuff it, why would I get rid of him? I'll just cop a rookie score this week. Maybe it costs me 50 points, but I've got a bloke who's going to be, scoring well for the rest of the year. Is that how you'd look at that?
Yeah, I think it all depends on your trade scenario and where you're at, but I think holding him, he seems to be scoring well. He's got a good role. He loves a 1-2 throughout the game, so he does get racks up a lot of possessions and plays a bit of forward time too. So, yeah, I'd hold.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 100%. Josh Dunkley, a 126. He was good in this one. Cam Rayner, 119. Logan Morris kicked 5 for a 114. Plenty of 100s going around for all of Brisbane. Jared Berry, 112. Levi Ashcroft, if you held through, he rewards you with a 112 as well. Zorko, 105. Just, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 100s for Brisbane. So, yeah, they real dominated. In this one, Darcy Fort, even him, 88. But the big story was Lachie Neale sort of getting tagged straight out of this one, only finishing with 872. And
are we holding him? Are we trading him? Oh, yeah. I need some advice, boys. I've got him. He's shit me. He's annoyed me all year. Do I get rid of him or what? Well, guys like him have just killed my SuperCoach season. What do I do?
I don't know. I've got both him and Merritt, and I have Sarong, who was killing me as well. So it's hard on who you hold. I think I'm just going to hold them all and just hope comes out the other end all right. And I'm just banking on injuries for the later part of the year, and I'll hold the trades. Even if it means holding a not so good Primo, I'm just going to hold and hope.
Fair call.
No skill or luck.
Yeah, it's one of those hard ones. I guess it depends on what your trade plans look like this week and whether I think he drops to 525 or something like that. So he hasn't even got a lot of cash in his head anymore to be able to do much with him. But he certainly is in my thinking as to whether I avoid rookies now and just go someone like him out and just do a couple of little sideways and see what happens, because they're just killing me every week. But I'll have to weigh that up as the week goes on.
His run home does look like he avoids a fair few tags. So he goes Western Bulldogs, Geelong, Collingwood, Sydney, who Jordan's just not tagging anybody, and Freo. Like that's a nice run there. Gets him from round 19 to round 23 with a nice group of teams there that just typically don't tag. They hold players accountable, but they don't tag.
We'll see.
It's definitely probably one of the bigger questions of the week, to be honest, is do you hold or trade Neale? And that'll probably do it for Brisbane. There's not too many other relevant players under that. The upset of the round, most would say, is the next game, North versus Carlton, with North coming away with the win in this one sort of unexpectedly, but they just sort of kicked away with it in the middle part of the game and, really just had Carlton on the back foot.
It was beautiful to watch. Like, can we just say, I have to say this. Our team, Deadly, has been absolute shite for the best part of 23 years. And Carlton have been bringing me joy every weekend, getting their ass kicked and listening to their fans ring up talkback radio and threaten to burn memberships and sack coaches and all this kind of. If it wasn't for that little snippet every week of getting some joy in someone else's misery, I think I would have been sort of a depressed Essendon fan by now. But they keep cheering me up after we lose. They just make me feel better after they suck.
Yeah, I can't lie and say I'm not enjoying it either. I'm having a great time watching it happen. So sucked in. Zach Williams 110 top score for Carlton. Georgie Hewitt, who I picked up a couple of weeks ago, has been phenomenal. 109 for him. Nick Haynes a 109. Sam Doherty with 29 disposals, 16 marks in this one for a 99. People who purchased him a few weeks back would be pretty happy, and I know Horse was one of them. Any of you boys jump on Doc?
Nah, I didn't.
Nah. I bought McKercho. I had the option between the two, and I went the Kirch instead.
Yeah. Adam Chera, who after having a bit of a shoulder concern in the first quarter, stayed out there and played the rest of the game for a 95. Mitch McGovern kicked 4 for a 94. Looking down the list, TDK with the first game back of Pitnet, a 76 after having 30 in the first quarter.
You've got him, Hurls, do you?
Yeah, did you jump off him this week, Hurls?
I held, and I held him only because of the break even. Like I wanted to trade him to Jackson, and every time I tried to do the trade, I couldn't get the cash to work to still get my team finished. So what I ended up doing was just this week, my only trades were Hewitt to Mills, which was pretty much sideways. Though I think it cost me $5,000 to do that trade, which was in every of my 3 scenarios. And then I ended up doing a trade today, taking out Stone for what's the West Coast bloke? McCarthy, just to unlock that extra $100K. So I didn't do that other upgrade that I was thinking about, and I didn't trade Gawn, because when the selection happened on Thursday night and Shitnet was named, I said there's a very high chance I need to trade TDK out, and so I can't trade Gawn as well. So that would have killed me. So I ended up holding, given he had a 53 break even. He got a 70 odd, so he'll go up a little bit in cash. I think he makes 15K, and then I'll wait for team selection next week to see what I'm going to do. But if Pitnet is in the team again next week, TDK will be one of my trade outs, 100%.
Yeah, good call. Paddy Cripps, who's had a Supercoach full from Grace, gets a 75. And I'll pose this question, sort of, it's hard to judge at this point in the season, but Paddy Cripps is going to be around 450K this week. Next year, if he's around 450K, could we go there? Because not going there this year.
Next question.
I don't see it as the worst option. There is a world where it could be, but you'd want to see some structure change at Carlton to do that.
Yep.
If they're going to run the same lineup back through the midfield again, then you wouldn't do it. It'd be too risky.
But what's going to be different? Walsh comes back into that midfield, and Jagger comes in next year.
Yeah, they got some younger guys coming in. Yeah,
the tags are still going to happen. His inconsistency is still going to be there. He's only a year older. I couldn't go there. Others might.
You'd have to see somebody traded out. You have to see somebody notable make way to, mean that Cripps has to step up. That would be a world good.
It's a bit of food for thought, but yeah, it says a lot does have to change. Further down the list, Matty Carroll is 63. He's been quietly one of my best cash generators in the past 6 weeks, and I don't know how. Mark Pitnet.
I think on that one, Deadly, there's a little lesson in this one, isn't there? In that mid stage of the year when we get to, when was he on the bubble? About round 7 or something like that. I want to say 7 or 8 or something.
7. Yeah, round 7.
When you get to that second wave of rookies, sometimes we get a little bit too fixated on whether they're in or whether they're out for that 1 week or 2 weeks. There's been examples where we've bought them like Boxall, Clay Hall, Tom Gross, where we thought they were in that died. And then equally, there's been an example like this that he was out, but then he came back in and he's been a great cash cow. So, and Erasmus probably falls in that bucket too. So I think sometimes you got to get a bit lucky, but also maybe not worry too much about 1 week or 2 weeks and just go with someone and see how you go.
Don't get me wrong. I think I would have loved to trade him about 5-6 weeks ago, but he just didn't make enough money at the time. So he sort of stayed in by sheer luck, and I guess it's worked out for me. But I can't take Carlton seriously until they play Lucas Campriali again. I'll say that much. Moving on to North Melbourne, who there was just some phenomenal players for them in this game, and Tom Powell being one of them, 34 touches for 120 SuperCoach points. Lukey Parker, 28 for 110. LDU got enough of it with 30 and 108. Harry Sheasel, who's really come to his own in that midfield half-forward role now, 30 touches for 103. Colby McKercher, who some people would call a butcher. I'd call him great. 96 SuperCoach points for him. Jai Simkin, 93. Caleb Daniel, who had Chincotta on him for a good majority of this game with 91, which did you also find interesting that Chincotta started on Daniel, McKercher took the piss, so then they switched him. McKercher then kicked a goal, so Chincotta tag wasn't working with either of them. So then he went to Sheasel, and then Sheasel kicked a goal within about 5 seconds between Cop and Chincotta on him. So the days of the Chincotta tag
was great.
The days of the Chincotta tag seem to be behind him, but I don't doubt that he will come back bigger and better. Further down the North Melbourne list, Tristan Sherry, 79. Now I know a few people captained and were unhappy.
Heartbroken, that's a word for some people, yeah.
Yeah, depressed, sad. What other synonyms have we got?
A lot of words we could use here.
Yeah.
Well, when we're talking to North Melbourne, like they seem like they got a bit of pep in their step. Can I interest anybody in a sub 500k Luke Davies-Uniacke?
Nope. Just the simple fact that I have 4 North Melbourne players, and after watching LDU 3 weeks ago, I'm scarred for life.
Yeah, his floor actually he's had 2 scores under 80 all year. He had a 63 and a 72, but since round 7, he's had a 97 and 85, 82. Other than that, everything's 100 plus.
What's his price?
489 at the moment. He had a break even of 100.
Look, if you can't get up to the 550k blokes, I think he can be okay for you. But yeah, he might be frustrating every now and then. But you get what you paid for. He can score. He's 108 in this game, and Carlton, aren't the easiest midfield to play against. It's not like he ran around against a Richmond or a West Coast in this one. So I think that's okay at that price.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be a buy for sure.
But again, like Deadly said, I mean, I've got 4 of them as well. I'm not buying another one. There's 4 of them is enough for me. What about our mate McKercher? Did you buy Deadly?
Yeah, I jumped on a few weeks ago, and I'm happy. I'll take a 96. We spoke about this last week without you. We'll speak about it here with you. It's roll over anything else.
Absolutely, the role's there, right? And I think the thing is, and we should do a shout out to our mate DR. We were talking about Butcher before. Yeah. There's a whole kerfuffle going on over in Twitter and X and stuff. It is a reminder to everyone out there that when any of us are saying stuff in jest about SuperCoach scores, we're only just talking about that. We got a shit score or someone butchered it, or we're not having a go at the player. It's not serious, so lighten up, everyone. But anyway, I think McKercher's got the role. He kicked 2 goals to save his score this week because he did butcher it a fair bit. And we were talking during the game, Deadly. Yep. He probably, and this can be coached, he needs to really work out when to run pass for the handball, when to sag back for the short kick. He often does the wrong thing. His IQ isn't quite there with when to go, when to hang back. And I said at the time, if you could transplant the little helmet's brain into his brain for now, with his running ability and his kicking ability, it would be an ultimate seagull. But he just needs to learn that timing to be better. And what we paid for him, I think he's going to do the job, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I wasn't really like I was sort of saying that the biggest problem with him is just his rush decision making, and it's just all over the place. Like there was one play there, very start of the second quarter, maybe about 5 seconds into the second quarter, where he got the ball out the back, had someone chasing him down, and then he sort of gassed them, but didn't realize that he gassed them, and sort of put in a rushed kick, which went to a Carlton player about 15 meters away from every other North player, and just sort of set up their attack, which is, it's just getting in the mindset of not rushing, being composed, finding the best option, which is, I know it's hard to do, especially in professional footy straight away, but I have no doubt that he'll learn and he'll be a phenomenal footy player, which he already is. And after he kicked that goal, it's sparked a fire under his ass, and he played unbelievable after that. Hit every target, and he's a phenomenal footy player, 100%. Looking further down the North Melbourne list, there's not too much going on besides Georgie Woodlaw getting subbed out for a 41, which sort of interests me for next year. Again, I'm going to have a quick look at what he's priced at now. So with that, 358, and he's going to go down even further. He might be 300k, and I'll tell you what, a 300k Georgie Woodlaw, if he has a few mediocre games the rest of the season, I'm definitely interested next year. But moving on to Port Adelaide versus Sydney, and Sydney come away with this one, where they could have won by about 80 if certain individuals kicked straight and certain people that opened up at $6 accidentally on Sportsbet and kicked 6 behinds. Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, Port Adelaide, Zach Butters, freak. Need I say more?
No. Yeah.
Jet.
Yeah.
And Broads, I'll let you talk about this next quote unquote gun.
The king.
Underneath him. King Sam Powell-Pepper. 103.
Oh my God.
He's
oh my
back.
God.
I reckon I've come to a conclusion on why he scores well. It's not because he's a good player. Don't get that confused. It's because he attacks the ball hard. So everything he does is contested. He just does not know something that's not contested. And Champion Data love contested. He does impact the game really well. He doesn't impact it incredibly positively, I would say, but he does impact the game week in, week out. That's where he gets it. But even then, I think he's equal third for the most disposals for Port. Like, he's not shit. It's Butters, Rosé, Burton, and then him, with Burgoyne and with Farrell at the same point. But he got a fair bit of the ball, had some marks, laid some tackles, kicked a goal, stuffed a stat sheet. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, that's it. He had a good game. We'll give him that much. But I'm still cut about not holding him through the 300k he made earlier in the season. Anyway,
So good.
Josh Sin played probably his best game of AFL footy, in my opinion. In this one, he looked real good. Pickles in his game where is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Shoulder concern. Only played 70% time on ground for 88 SuperCoach points. Are we still looking at him as a forward line option?
I think people will be. I said this last week. I'm concerned because he's had 9% CBAs, 21% CBAs in his 2 return games. Is this a product of the fact that now you got Bergman, although Bergman didn't go in the middle much this week? It was Rosé went back into the midfield. But is every week going to be someone different taking that spot? And just buying him as a forward isn't for me. So I think I'm going to pass. I think if I'm going to go one of these guys, it's going to be like Jack McRae, who's got the role. So I don't think I'm going there, but I think people will, though.
Yeah, I think you're right. Flanders, where do you sit on the buff man himself, Jason Horne-Francis?
Well, I held him and McRae together over that time, so I'll keep him. I have no questions of getting off him, and I reckon Port have finally got their head screwed on how to actually manage someone coming back from injury. And as part of that, they've limited his CBAs, held him forward as much as they can, so that he can make sure that hamstring's right, get some game time back into it before he's good to go.
Yep,
I agree with that.
100%. Asava Radagalea of Silvertop Hurley Keeper League draft fame
He's done it again.
has been unreal the past 2 weeks.
I needed a defender. I had donuts coming everywhere in my keeper league. Radagalea was on the waiver wire. He's been fantastic. He got 117 and then an 85, and he's a spud.
He's averaged 100 for you. Can't ask for more.
No.
Unreal. Joe Richards, decent game for him as well as Jace Burgoyne. Connor Rozee, 80 in this one. As Corey Blackledge says here, Bergman was sick coming to this game, so Rozee had to play more mid-time. Yeah, I'm not worried about Rozee at all, especially having 25 touches for an 80. Whether he's in the midfield or even at halfback, I don't mind. I'm happy that I have him now at this stage, but I prefer him at halfback. But yeah, at this stage, I'm fine with him. Further down the Port Adelaide list, we see Marnie Liddy, 17 touches for a 59, and probably holds his spot now for a bit, you'd reckon, and sort of leads me into, another 99k guy. Doesn't have the bye this week. Can we go there?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Why not? He is probably one of the guys that I'm looking to downgrade to this week. I bought Ewan McKinley this week, who's also a Port Adelaide 99k rookie, but why not make it 2?
The only reason I couldn't is because I've got Lucas Camporelli, who's already a dead rook in the midfield, and to get all of my bench swing cover that I want to get sorted, I need to have a defender mid in one bench spot and a forward mid in the other spot, and he's mid only.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I can't go there. It's just for bench swing.
That's
but fair. I'm also only targeting 22 primos, not 23.
Yeah,
so I've got to make sure I've got that cover. Other than that, I can see him being a pick for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's a great point Brode's making though. Like when you're doing these last trades, ideally if you could have a Bo Allen, Tom McCarthy swing defense mid, and you could have someone in your midfield that's also got the forward swing who's potentially a rookie that might play or might not, even if they're dead, doesn't matter. That's so valuable coming home. It's hard to get the mid-forward one. Like I heard you said you went McKinley Deadly. Are you anticipating he will play at all, or did you just go there because he's got the swing?
I don't particularly mind. It was main focus was swing, but I still think there's a chance he could play. But yeah, main focus was definitely I needed a mid-forward. So he was the guy that sort of unlocked that to me, which allowed me to get Sam Darcy this week, which we'll talk about later. Bergman, as we said before, bit of a down game for him, only a 47, but he's been fantastic. And, he came into it a bit injured, a bit sick, and sort of had to have a bit of a back seat in this one. Jordan Sweet subbed out for a 46, and Dante Vicentini only a 36 as well. So that the Port Rucks had a bit of a shocker against good segue into the Sydney Ruck, Brady Grundy, with a 159, who I'd say we all missed the boat on him a few weeks back. But my God, if you jumped on him, you're flying.
Do you want to know the man
that didn't?
Huge. You want to know the man that didn't miss him? Squiddy.
Unreal.
That man didn't.
He does have him. Unreal.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. I think it's been, he's been massive. I think he could have the highest 3-round average in the comp, has he?
He did. He's probably still going to have it now.
He's going to have it. He's got it this week, and he's still going to have it.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Jackson might get
Jackson won't pick up 12 on him, will he? It'll be close. Him and Jackson look the two anyway.
Anyway, he should have the highest 5-round average after this week as well. Since round 9, Brady Grundy 121 against Essendon, 135 against Carlton, 109 against Melbourne, 161 against Adelaide, 155 against Richmond, and now 159 against Port. Unreal stuff. And he's got Tim English and the Doggies this week. See if he can continue that huge hot streak up. But
he's got a really good run.
Yeah,
his run's fantastic. But I mean, you can't probably go there now at 640, but you couldn't really go there at 610, which is why we didn't jump on this week. But yeah, his ruck run is beautiful. I mean, he's coming up against Briggs. He has got Sherry in there, but the Freo rucks won't be easy. But English, Freo, St Kilda, Marshall's easy to score against. Goldstein in first week of league finals, then McInerney or Fort. It's Geelong and West Coast to round it out. What a nice finals run. Too late for us probably, but yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, unreal. Nick Blake, another good performance in this one for 126. Callum Mills, who a lot of people jumped on and would be bloody happy with it too, for a 47K guy to score 121. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't jump on. I can't jump on either. I finished my mids and defenders about 3 weeks ago, so I've just been forward, and I've just been sort of stuck myself after getting McKercher pretty much. So Mills is just going to have to go through the keeper for me, unfortunately. Errol Good in his very first game back from that nasty ankle injury, 74% TOG for 95. I really like it as a pod if you need a primo mid at the back end of the year. As we just spoke about their run towards the back end of the year, and it's very positive for Sydney, and he's going to be an all-time megapod.
Yeah,
He will. Would you go him, or would you go? I mean, Heaney's got to be worth a shout too, doesn't he? 500 and what is he? 500 and
died on me.
Heaney's
536, and he'll go up a bit this week probably because his break even was 109, so he might be 540 something. There's another one you could jump on. I know a few people were talking about Justin McInerney during the week. I couldn't go there, but he scored well enough.
He did.
Yeah, I completely skimmed over Heaney. Oops.
I think that's right. The next guy to look at after Gordon, Roberts. He is the one that got the role change. He played the wing.
Yeah.
Yep. Ugly.
Yeah. It's
if you still got him,
but if you still got him, it's definitely probably time to switch him off, which I doubt many people would still have him after, the bye and those couple weeks that he had off with the illness.
I think if you have got him, this is one of those ones, and we spoke about it the opposite way with McKercher when he got a 60 last week, and we said he's got the role. This 95 was fake. This 95 is the fakest 95 you'll ever get. Ride your luck, get him out of your team. If he's going to play wing, he's no good to you.
No, not at all. Chad Warner, who ordinary again, but still a 93, so I guess we'll take it. He hasn't scored 100 since around 10. James Jordan was all right in this one with an 87. Angus Sheldrick, an 83, 79% TOG. Are we concerned with him as, I know you were sort of still planning on having Sheldrick as a guy who M8 swing sort of areas, maybe be the 23rd guy. Are you concerned at all, Hurls, or?
No, because he's still got the role. I didn't mind his game. I'm going to have him at M8 and Tom McCarthy swinging M9, D7. So I think I'm going to be stuck with that whether I like it or not for a while. And he's still going up. He'll probably hit 400, 410 before I even have to worry about it. So I'm not overly worried. I think the good thing was all the players came back and he still had a role that I was comfortable with. So that was the best part.
Yeah. And just moving further down, we see Joel Amati there, who 6 behind Shane Matt Marquez. Moving on, Riley Bice was the sub. So he's had a real fall from grace since the start of his season. But moving on to the next game, Collingwood versus St Kilda. Collingwood come away with a pretty easy win in this one after a bit of a quick start in this one. And just quickly, what are your thoughts on Marcus Windhager getting fined for that little cheap shot bullshit?
Which one did he get fined for?
The very start of the game, like the first.
Yeah, that's crap. That's crap. Yeah. He should have got fined for the knee. The knee's bullshit. The knees shouldn't be anywhere near our game. That first one, they do that kind of stuff all the time.
I think he had a grand out of his pocket.
No big issue. Yeah, I don't love that he got fined for that one, but I would have fined him probably 50 grand for the knee. That's bullshit.
Yeah, right. I don't mind. Yeah, the knee was very bullshit. Jesus, 50 grand. Christ.
Yeah, he won't do it again.
Yeah, no.
NBA fine region we're getting to here.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's big areas. That's big areas.
Does Windhager make 50 grand?
Oh, well, we
No,
can go shake some
on.
tins outside Moorabbin or something if he doesn't.
To be fair, if you or that'd be more than the game fees, surely. You're getting paid less than 50.
All right,
game,
we'll go down to 25 then.
All's fair. But yeah, even with the windy tag, Nick Dacos superb in this one, 157, and people that were brave enough to have the VC or the C on him with the tag on benefited hugely. And he was great. Darcy Cameron, who after starting the first quarter on 73 and finishing on 156, that first quarter, that was the most interesting stat I've seen in a while, where he's on 73 and Rowan Marshall's on at -1. And then you look at it at the end of the quarter, or the end of the game, sorry, Cameron's on 156, and after the first quarter of on -1, Marshall strings together a 124.
That's such a Marshall thing to do as well.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I think by half time he was on 64 or something, and it's like in one quarter he packs on 70 something points. It's just such a Rowan Marshall game to have.
Unreal.
This is my one little gripe with SuperCoach, and I know it's just a stats game, so you can't do much about it. But Darcy Cameron was absolutely head and shoulders above his opponent, and yet he still gets 124. Now, I had him captain in my keeper league, so I was shitting myself at quarter time, and ecstatic that he got to 124 by the end. But that's my one little thing where he just. He got absolutely killed. Like Darcy Cameron took him to the cleaners. It was as big a comprehensive victory as I've seen in the ruck for a long time, and he still got 124 points. But it is just stats, and that's how it works. So be it.
Yeah. Paddy Lipinski had a real big game in this one, 138. Jack Crisp as well, 110. Josh Dacos, 30 touches for a 96. Moving further down the list, Ed Allen was good. Ned Long was good. But yeah, it's sort of been the same sort of thing all season, and will probably continue to be. It's Nick Dacos and no one else, except Dan Houston, 31.
What is going on there? He's invisible, just dead set invisible in this structure.
If we can see a big change, and I'm talking big change in his role or something, just something has to change. He could be an option next year, but he had a break even of about 60 this week and still lost 15K.
It's really interesting, and it's one of those great, pub arguments about individuals over team structures, right? Collingwood went and got Perryman and Houston and probably paid 1.7 million for those two to play for him this year. And individually, they're both pretty invisible, but they must be doing something in the team structure that really works, because the team's flying. And so I don't think they'll care one little bit that they've paid that cash out, because they'll be happy with how the whole team setup's going. But yeah, just as going to buy players and expecting them to do certain things, these two aren't doing it from a stats point of view, but they certainly are playing their role, I assume. Yeah, that's a fair call. Moving over to St Kilda, Nasai Wang and Millerer, Jet, Gun. Need more synonyms for him too. Unreal. This one hurt me. This was the one that hurt me. I meant to buy him 2 weeks ago when he was 520 or whatever, and just circumstances over the last 2 weeks have meant I haven't been able to get the cash right, and his break even has been in that space where I go, I can get the other guy because his break even's too low, and I can wait for Nas till next week. And then this one bit me on the backside. So I wish I'd got him. He'll probably be in my team this time next week. But it was a week too late for me.
He didn't randomly get a week that he went up 30 grand or had a break even of 20 or anything.
Yeah.
He just crept up from that floor that he had. He got down to 507, where most of us got on just after his buy. But he's only crept up by 20 grand a week. So, we're all going, I can find the 20 grand next week. I can find the 20 grand the week after. And before you know it, he's 550 now, and he's about to, only had a break even at 63. So he's going up to probably 590.
Yeah,
unreal.
He's creeping up like my SuperCoach ranking is creeping down. It's not bad enough to be an absolute shit year, but it's just going down backwards every week, just a little bit, just enough to be annoying. Not enough for me to throw the towel in, but enough to piss me off. But it's all good.
The app has just opened. So after St Kilda, we'll get a quick rank update from you boys. Jack McRae, 71% TOG in this, 131. He was real good. Yeah, Marshall, we spoke about him before, just had a typical random Ron Marshall game and it worked out. Moving further down the St Kilda list, we creep all the way down to the number 35 in probably his worst game of the season, Jack Sinclair, who, Broads, I was happy for about half a day because we had this discussion when I was in Melbourne about a month ago where do I get Sinclair, do I get Whitfield? I brought Whitfield in, forgot to change it, was going to get Sinclair, didn't do it. Sinclair's outscored him plus 4 weeks. And I thought I'll be sweet this week. Whitfield has to outscore Sinclair. Oh, no. No. How wrong I am.
Yeah, you got burnt on that one there, mate.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, you couldn't win this week if that was your toss up there.
That's it.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Here's your consolation prize, Deadly, and this goes for those who are thinking about Pickles versus McRae as well. St Kilda's finals, if you're talking about SuperCoach finals, are absolutely dreamy. So Sinclair will be fine. Don't worry about this week. It's gone. That's in the rearview mirror. Look in the windscreen. And yeah, McRae's a good option because of that too.
That doesn't make me happy. I don't have Nassau or Sinclair, and I just want one of them. Just want to feel.
Didn't you say?
No.
Well, you got none. Oh, Jesus! Sorry.
I thought I have McRae, but I don't have Nassau or Sinclair. Unfortunately.
Oh, how good am I going? You went. I was completely
Whitfield.
Confused. Yeah. So you meant you went Whitfield over Sinclair.
I originally went Whitfield, and then I asked Horse and Flanders. I go, which one would you take? And they both said Sinclair. I said, all right. My phone was dead at the time, so I was like, all right. When I get my phone back up on the charge, I'll get Sinclair. And then I remembered to do that trade at about 1:25 the next day, and the GWS game started at 1:20. So there you go.
Well, he's losing some cash. There's the upside for you. The glass half full. He's run in the last 5 weeks. So I'll give you the week before finals: Melbourne, North Melbourne, Richmond, Essendon, and GWS.
Oh boy,
that is just lovely.
You've got St Kilda players. You're gonna have fun there. I'm scared. Moving further down the St Kilda list, Alex Toro in his first game. Congrats to the Flying Viking. Get your helmets out for a 44 for him. Isaac Keeler subbed out for a 34, and I think you and me both, Hurls, are probably going to trade him out this week. It's
he's done his job. He's made us, I think, about 80 or 90,000. There were no other real forward options, no other options at the time. So that's okay. You can go. The thing with him is he actually, I think, will keep his spot.
Yep.
And he looks quite good in flashes, but he just gets all of his points scoring in like a 3-minute period. Then he does nothing for the rest of the game. He's that kind of player, right? So I think if you don't have to get rid of, if you've got him and you want to just sit him on the bench, he's not going to hurt. But 215 grand or whatever he is now, he's probably someone you can use his cash.
Yeah, 100%. Matthias Philippou, a very, very late out in this one. Basically ruled out 2 minutes before the bounce. And Toby Travaglia subbed on for a -1, which kills any sort of cash gen that he was making, which once again interests me in a player for next year if he continues to lose cash. And most of my rookies next year, by the sounds of the way I'm making my team, are going to be rookies from this year. So we'll see how that all plays out at the end of the season. Now, quickly, while we have a bit of an intermission between games here, we'll get you to grab your ranks up. I'll quickly share mine, and you can just
like to mention
yours.
The 3 teams that's top scored this week. So the top score was a 25-35, second was a 25-34, and third was a 25-33.
Wow!
Can you imagine getting Can you imagine getting 25-34 or whatever that second place was and losing by 1 point for $2,000?
You'd be filthy.
Oh my God. It's a 133 point average if you count the captain twice. So, divide that by 19, 133 points a player. That is ridiculous.
Unreal.
His lowest score on field was Adam Cherrer's 95.
Fair income. Wow.
Christ.
And that was his only score sub-ton.
That's sickening. I would have liked that.
And the Jackson VC in there too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. Or just having Bont would be nice. Having anyone would be good at this stage. I'm up to 9.5k, which, I'm having a very okay year. It's been very up and down. I went real shit a couple weeks ago, which put me down to about 19k, and we're just sort of on the climb back from there. I would like to get top 5%, but I think it's top 1%. Sorry, but I think it's still a bit out of reach at this point. But how are you going, Hurls, at this stage? I know you'll talk about it in depth tomorrow, but
Tuesday night. I scored a 2,051 thanks to Bont as the captain today and Kennedy scoring really well against the Tigers. So that saved my ass. My projected was 1,900 flat. When I was seeing all these 2,200s, I thought, geez, I'm in trouble here. But getting to 2,050 at least saved me. And like I said a bit earlier, I've dropped now to 7,824th. So another 700 spots, but it's just a little trickle. And so I've dropped maybe 2,000 spots over the bye rounds, which is shit. But given what scores I've got, I probably will take it. I said this in our chat group today. If you said to me at the start of this weekend that Sinclair and Whitfield won't make my best 18, I would have signed up for a 2051 in a heartbeat, because I would have thought, gee, that's lucky. So I can't be too disheartened by it. I just have to get my team fixed and then get into round 17 when it's 22 again and hope that my mediocre blokes don't stay mediocre.
Yeah, that's it. Flanders, how did you go this week, mate?
2182, ranked 12,000 for the round. But fighting back from a pretty crap start to the year, ranked 24k, but I've gone up about 10,000 ranks in the last 2 weeks. So battling back over the buys and aiming for that top 5%.
Might be in with a chance of the buy comp with that kind of improvement, Flanders.
Yeah,
Jeez,
should be.
Oh, no, improvement-wise, no, but points-wise, I've got to be up there. I've got to be close.
Yeah, maybe. Be interesting. There'll be, I'm sure there'll be some. So those of you who are in our Patreon, we're running a little buy comp. So the best score over the 5 bye weeks plus the biggest improvement will get a prize pack. So that's only for Patreons, but I'm no chance. I'm gone backwards, so I'm out of the running. But you two sound like you might be there for a chance.
Yeah, I need a bit of a huge week in a week where I'm not expecting to go very huge this week, so we'll see how we go. Moving into probably the game of the round, actually comfortably the game of the round, but not really for you, Broads, as a Gold Coast fan. GWS 106 defeat Gold Coast 99. On the GWS side of things, obviously we'll get to the big story all the way down the bottom here later. But Tom Green, once again, keeps on keeping on. I'm so happy to have him on the bye this week, which, sucks because he's been my only good player at this stage in the season. And 136 for him. Finn Callaghan, who's sort of basically revolutionised that team again since coming back in at 113. Toby Green, who after a really bang average first half, really kicked into gear and had a 111. And I'm interested as my F6 after the buys at a cheap 300k price. Lockie Ash without Lockie Whitfield for a good majority of this game, 33 touches for a 104. And
I thought he butchered it a lot today, Lockie Ash.
Yeah,
he was just running like a bit of a chook with no head and just kicking it to the opposition a hell of a lot from his kick-ins.
Isn't he? Am I right in saying, bros, that he's still like Champion Data's number 1 player this season or something ridiculous? Is he?
No, Champion Data's number 1 player is Ed Richards. They are just loving Ed Richards, but he's up there.
Yeah,
he's up there.
He's up there. Is Ben Long still up there?
Oh, Ben Long's the best small forward in the comp.
Best forward in the comp.
Best small forward. He's not the best forward.
Best small forward.
Best small forward. Take it.
Yeah. Lucky Ash, 81% today. it's a bit down for what he has been doing, but I mean, I'd take that. But
Yeah.
boys, how good would it be? How good would it have been? Sorry, Kieran Briggs wasn't back this week or the week after, and we had Nick Madden, because my God, he's scoring outrageously for a bloke at his price, and would have been so nice to have.
Some people would have went there and they would have got lucky, but I don't think he'll be playing in round 17.
Nah, I don't think so either. I think he's probably done. Jake Riccardi had a real nice game, especially early on, 93. Harvey Thomas playing in that Brent Daniels role looked good. Harry Rouston, who's really impressed over the past couple of weeks, pumps out an 82. Jake Stringer subbed on pretty early thanks to Whitfield with a 75. Josh Kelly was all right with a 73. But moving further down the list, we go all the way down to the very bottom. Lockie Whitfield subbed out after a failed HIA on 16. So I made this post on Twitter today where he becomes an interesting trade-out topic with the bye next week. And after doing some research, it probably looks like he misses that West Coast game in round 17 too, with the 12-day stand-down mandate.
Because it's 12 clear days, isn't it?
Yeah, after digging into it, it's pretty unlikely that he does play that West Coast game. So
Interesting.
That makes him a very interesting, trade-out topic. I know people were talking about trading him in next week at a cheaper price, and there is still a world where after that West Coast game is a trade-in. But for right now, if you desperately need to trade out a guy of that price and you don't have a Neil or a Merritt or something like that, could you maybe trade out Whitfield if you have the trades? Or is it sort of at the stage where, you just have to hold through one of the guys that will be good when he comes back?
I think his price makes it a hold. If he was $5.99 right now instead of $5.09, I could sort of understand the argument, because you could probably go from the $5.99 guy down to someone at $5.20, and that might facilitate some other upgrades elsewhere. But what are you going to do with him for $509? No one's scoring 130s at that price when he comes back. Like he can when he comes back. So I think he's just a hold, whether he misses two or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair call. I assume. I'm holding 100%, whether he misses that West Coast game or not. Just I don't have the trades, and I don't want to trade out a guy like Lockie Whitfield that I know will come good. I'd assume you're sort of you land in the same boat, Flanders, where it's just hold just pedigree wise.
Yeah, you'd hold the pedigree. If he misses West Coast, it's not like he misses a bad run either. He's still got
he's still got a decent run after West Coast.
He's got North, Gold Coast, Hemorrhage Point. I know St Kilda last year were better for it, but his finals run around 22, 23, 24 is North, Gold Coast, St Kilda. That there is going to be a halfback stream. I know St Kilda have been better this year, but last year they were really poor, and there's no reason they can't move back to that pretty quickly as well. So,
yeah, that's fair enough. And just quickly, I did forget to do this, but Lockie Whitfield is sponsored by Ryan from Astute Newstead. Hit up Ryan for all your residential home loan needs. He's got people that basically does the work for you. And if you give him a call and quote the code INSIDE, he does it all for free, the great man. And I know he's helped a few of the Insight boys out recently. And he does a wonderful job. So if you need any of that sort of work done, go hit him up. For the Gold Coast side of things, I know we had a very happy horse today who brought in Jared Witts, 54 hitouts against Dick Madden, 163 SuperCoach points. To say I was happy about it, I'd be lying, just because I don't like seeing horse succeed, unfortunately. But he was good today, Witsy.
Yeah, at least you're honest. at least you're honest. He's got a good run too, Horse.
Yeah,
Horse will be very happy with it. He's got a very nice run.
I hate to see it. it. Realistically, just the whole Gold Coast midfield had a bit of a day out. Took Miller 37, Noah Anderson 42, and even down to Matt Rao 34. Yeah, they had a huge game from a lot of them. Bailey Humphrey, a 131 with 2 goals, 23 touches. Braden Fiorini, who's starting to bring some of that VFL form into the AFL. And we'll bring up Matt Rowell because congratulations to you, Broads, and your Gold Coast boys being able to keep on the great man for another 2 years, keeping the cattery away from him.
Yeah, as long as he said he's going to sign, then we'll be happy, guys. He hasn't formally signed, but he's committed to, and he also.
Yeah. I heard today that he was all but signed for Geelong until they did that stupid white t-shirt bullshit. He said, "I'm not having a bar of that crap," and he said, "Give me the contract. I want to sign."
Could you? Oh my god! I need to find a photo. Could you imagine Matt Rowell or John Noble even in a white t-shirt? How bloody pasty they'd look. I need to find it.
That's as bad as it in pink. They're all the same.
The pink shirt was so bad in John Noble. Even I felt like I was watching West Coast today with the kit. I don't know what's going on with them. Like I like the idea, but Christ, I generally dead set thought I was watching West Coast for a good chunk of that game.
It was either that or they looked like Power Rangers, and I couldn't work out which one. It looked like the old Hawthorn Power Ranger one from like 2016, 2017. Because it was glossy, silky too. Like, it was like a Power Ranger West Coast. So at least it makes the pink one look better.
I mean, they do them, I suppose. Sam Flanders, a bit of a bounce back game for him after a pretty ordinary season, to be fair.
Relevant now? Like, could he be relevant at the price? He's getting cheap.
Nah. I'm still interested if he's forward line eligible next year, but at this stage in the season, nah.
What did he do today? Did he just roll up more often and that?
No, he was
role...
sort of. I don't know. I can't confirm this. I'm pretty sure he had some CBAs today.
Nah, there was nothing. That's what I know.
CBAs. He
maybe he was just rolling up a bit. I suppose he was getting around it a lot.
Yeah, we like to roll a high half forward up to the stoppages, and he was the one that rolled up a lot. So yeah, you didn't find the Ainsworths or anyone else further up the ground. It was him that was actually the one rolling up the ground. We do like to run an extra mid around there.
Yeah, but even stats wise, looking at it now, he's sort of fourth mid most of the day. And yeah, you're right. Fiorini got a few CBAs, Kiz. That's a good shout from you. Bailey Humphrey also had a few as well. John Noble, he's been okay. He had a bit of a drop off a couple of weeks recently, 76. Looking further down the list, not too much else Supercoach relevancy wise. Mac Andrew only scoring a 7 in 94% game time. Not ideal for him, but him and Hogan really barely got near it, both of them, the whole game. And yeah, that's really about it for that game. Moving on to
we have been before you move on, Deadly. We have been, or I have been, very critical of the package, and no Supercoach relevance whatsoever. But he did what we know the package can do, and they'll be happy that he probably kicked 2 goals that, let's be honest, not many players in the comp can kick, and he's the cream on the cake for that kind of team. Like, he was great trade out for us, great trade in for them, even though he's done nothing all year. If he could win them a game or 2 here or there like that, that's why they took the punt, right? So they got their one so far. So good on them.
I did see Giants social media team, who after today no longer have the best social media team, tweeting out thanks Essendon and then putting a package emoji next to it. So bugger off Jacob Gaynor. Last game of the round, Doggies versus Richmond, and this was cakewalk. And yeah, I might even just bring up the tweet just to show you guys just how much of an absolute freak he is. Marcus Bontempelli, 3 goals, tied for second in the match, 36 touches, first for the game, most meters gained, most inside 50, second in clearances, only behind first in goal assists, first in contest possessions, 83% disposal efficiency, for 177 Supercoach points. I'm gonna change my call from earlier. Windhager can stay with his 50k fine because
he's made Bontempelli affordable for everyone who doesn't have him and killed us all with his tag on Bont last week. So he can get his 50 back instead of 25. Stuff him.
I'll tell you what. Hashtag fade Bont's looking real hard to do after tonight.
I was gonna put that as me.
It's looking real hard to do. I have 5 trades left. I need at least 2 more primos, and I somehow need Bont.
He's 586. 586 is a bargain.
He doesn't have 586 to buy.
When my best cash generator is Matt Carroll.
Matt Carroll and Isaac Keeler aren't going to get you there, unfortunately.
Matt Carroll, Isaac Keeler, and Zach Johnson. All 3 of them probably don't get me there. Anyway, I'm glad I have the bloke who got
$100,000.
Unreal. I'm glad I have the bloke who is second on the list for the doggies in Sam Darcy. He is a genuine freak of nature, and he's such a gun footy player. 144. Tim English, fantastic game for him, especially late on in the piece. 142. Roy Lobb, who played one of his best games of the season. 124. Ed Richards, who with getting 27 touches, cashed our man Cole's huge weekend multi. Three grand in his pocket. So the Punters Club thrived thanks to him this week. So shout out to Ed Richards for that.
While we're talking Punters Club, the El Presidente gave us a little sneaky Cooper Hines 1 and 2 GAT as well. It was a great day for the Punters Club. Yeah. So well done, boys. We had to get the bookies back sooner or later, and today was good.
That's it. Yeah, Libber again. He was good. Basically, everyone in this doggies team was good today. There was very few lowlights. Matty Kennedy, who he's just been solid all year. 113. Sam Davidson with a 109 would have been nice if he got that in about round 6, but we'll take it now, I suppose. Bailey Williams, who's been phenomenal the past couple of weeks, 102. Bailey Dale, who was pretty quiet with how much the doggies dominated this game and how much ball went around. Only an 83 in this one.
I know a few people said they were a bit sort of, annoyed because he played, I think, the last 12 or 13 minutes on the bench. But again, those in our Patreon, there was a little bit of talk during the week that he was a fitness test coming into the game. He passed the fitness test clearly and he played. So 86 and getting a bit of a spell at the end is probably just not a bad thing. You take that and move on and assume that he's going to be fine from here on in. So, yeah, not what you wanted probably against Richmond, but at the end of the day, if they're a bit sore, you got to take some precaution and you rest them a bit in that last quarter when the game's done and you go again next week.
His halfback run also wasn't really needed too. Like, they didn't need him for what he does. The ball was very much kept in the forward half for the Dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Moving further down the Western Bulldogs list, Adam Treloar subbed out with, was it a calf again? I think.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Again. Yeah, he's having some real troubles with that calf, and 29 points for him. Subbed out early on in the piece. Unfortunate for him. We hope that he's all good and gets his body right for.
And absolutely no confirmation of how bad the injury is. So take that to the side. But he did stay in the rooms for 2.5 quarters. So whether that's a good sign or a bad sign, I have no idea. But yeah, hopefully he's okay. He just can't get his body right. Poor bloke. He's a jet when he's on the park. So hopefully he's not too bad.
Luke Beveridge says there is a degree of significant concern with Adam Treloar. So, yeah, we hope for the best for him because he's a absolute ripping footy player when he is healthy and, not even just SuperCoach-wise, just in general. Nick Vlosten was real good in this one, 121. Tim Taranto, 116. Nane, 75. I mean, besides that, there's not much going on for Richmond at all. Let's just be honest. The meatball, after being basically M1, fell back to earth with a 52.
Fell off the plate, you might say.
I'll give you that one.
Oh, that's a shitty joke, Hurls. That's a shitty
joke. I'm a dad. I'm allowed to do the dad jokes, aren't I?
I'll give you that one.
When No horse tonight, so you can be the dead
Yeah,
horse.
That's it.
We need a dad somewhere around us. But yeah, to be honest, there's not much really to talk about with Richmond. Jacob Hopper was 62. Yeah, it's a bit of a write-off game for them. And yeah, I think they'll start playing some younger guys quite soon, which will be interesting for our SuperCoach teams next year or later on. So we'll jump here to some questions now once I find the thing. So if you've got any questions, chuck them below. We'll bring them up on the screen and we'll have a bit of a chat for a little bit here.
It's question time. Let's answer your questions for the week ahead.
Alrighty. First one from James P. Finished with 2,275. Finally happy with a good score. Yeah, you take those. Anything sort of. I went up with 2,150. So anything above that, you've done well. I think. Crew Blackledge 2,237. Bringing in Whitson, LJ was massive this week. Yeah, that's even just them two, a good couple hundred points on everyone. Here you go. Flanders rocking the Angel Reese background today.
Bricks.
And segues into from Kizza. Broads has been really good to outside, I see. Housemates
I
kicked
the
you out.
same background as I couldn't. I own the house. I'm getting kicked out by the renters. This is outrageous.
Unreal. From Puma, is 4 rucks too many? And when he says 4 rucks, I know his team. He's got Luke Jackson in the forward line, so he's sort of asking ruck in flex. Is it all right?
Absolutely.
I think
rucks don't get tagged. If you could somehow come home with, now it depends which rucks. If you could come home with Sherry, Gawn,
who's he got?
Jackson,
He's got Witts, Jackson, and Sherry, I believe.
And who's the other one?
He's asking,
Jackson,
should he trade
Sherry.
in another?
Another one.
Yeah, should he trade in another one? I'm pretty sure he's got them through.
I think you can. Well, I'll tell you I don't want to go just off a 1 week play, and I don't know what he's costing, but I think West Coast, Collingwood West Coast this week, isn't it? Maybe Darcy Cameron might be a shout if you want to go massive for the week.
Even if and this brings up another interesting point actually, Hurls, which will start ramping up a bit. As people start running out of trades and it gets to league finals and you're sort of out of contention for any high finishes and you're just sort of playing for league.
Yeah.
With your last couple trades, there'll be some pods that we'll speak about that, have some juicy runs, like the St Kilda over league finals, which you could jump on. So even if there's another ruck you like that, has a good league final structure, go ahead, I think.
Yeah, I think, and it's probably a good shout out for those of you who are Patreons. Get into the WhatsApp. Give us some names that you want to do some numbers on. Our man Broads will do some numbers on Tuesday night. You can start to look through now for round 21 to 25, 24, right? And see, what do the matchups look like? Who do I want? Broads will be able to tell you what they need to be scoring to be viable and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really good shout. But I don't think 4 rucks is too many at all. Darcy Cameron's 554. So he's 554 for Cameron, 526 for Witts. And if you want a really spicy left field one that's a bit cheaper, Lloyd Meek, even at 475, they're probably the ones I'd consider. I wouldn't just buy rucks for the sake of it, but if it was one of those 3 to join with some of the big dogs you've already got, then I don't mind the play.
Yeah, don't mind it at all. Greek Raven, hey, I hope you're all going well. It took my team 15 weeks to click together. 2-3, 4-3 for me this week. Could have been better if Dale wasn't stuck in the bench for the last 15 minutes of the quarter. Can't complain. Yeah, it's a good week. 2-3, 4-3. Take that. I
reckon if I get 2-3, 4-3 when we get back to 22, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
The way my team's going.
I would have been, well, that's a topic for another day, I suppose, the way we're going. Kez, hey guys, long time listener, first time chatter. Is the Salvarado Galera buy?
Yes, jump on.
For him,
the rat.
Yes,
the rat.
100%.
Jump on, get on there. He is a gun. He is single-handedly turned my keeper league season around. So get on him. No, don't do that in Classic, please.
418 Kane's got up 102 on the year.
Wow.
That shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. The break even at 45.
Fishing for fun. Twice I've had Rosie this year and been burnt bad. He'll come good. I have no doubt that he'll come good.
Don't worry about that week. That's just one that happened. He'll be right.
Zerrett and Lockie Neal, keep or move sideways? Tough.
Depends on your team. It's hard. I've already moved Neal on. I've already moved Zerrett on. I moved him 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. His run is ridiculously hard. So if you're looking at leagues, he would be the one of those two that I would move. But it depends on what you're doing now. Like how many trades you got left. Can you finish your team if you're moving primos? They don't have a lot of cash on their head, so it's a hard one to answer. You might have to trade around them and hope they come good.
Yeah. Frankie, 2382 this week, 193rd ranking. I'm happy. I mean, 100%. That's unreal. Unreal.
Frankie is on fire. 100 and what is it?
193
overall. Bloody brilliant. Unreal. Keep going, Frank.
Scorched Earth, who's also having a phenomenal season. Our boy from across the ditch. He's up 2,000 spots this week. So, well in Timmy, keep it going, mate. Ivana. Cast your votes for tonight's MVP. Deadly Hurls of Flanders. You know what? Go on, do that. Whoever's in here, chuck your votes in. Who's winning MVP tonight?
Ivana with a Kelly Underwood thumbnail. My God.
Unreal. Ricky Edwards.
There's some funny boys in this community.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ricky Edwards, Gorner X down to Witts and Marshall. Is it viable?
No, don't touch Marshall. Don't touch. I could entertain Witts.
Gorner X down to Witts. Would you do that at this stage of the year? Or
I still think there is a world where Gorn to Witts can work because you're still unlocking a fair bit of cash, and Gorn does have 4 really tough weeks. The risk is, and this was the same risk that was there when we were talking about this last week. Gorn has a really nice last 5 rounds. So if you go this way, and then you're not, I don't think we've got the trades to drop him and then get him back. That's the problem. So you're probably going to fade him for the year, and it might be a hard watch for the last month. But I think you can do it if it means your upgrades can happen. But it's all dependent on that. If you can't do other upgrades, don't do it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. Anything to add on that, Broads? Or
No, I think that's the same sort of thing. Like we call it the set and forget line. If you can get to 22 primos, I wouldn't be breaking up the ruck line to get 23. I'd much rather just run 22. And like I'm comfortable with me getting to 22 because I've got the likes of Butters, Bont, Dawn, Sherry, Sinclair, Holmes. Like I've got the big dogs. I'm just playing 22. Not going to try break it up to get to guarantee 23.
Yep. That's a fair call. I'm in a similar situation with 5 trades, but I have the money to go Dan Houston to Bontempelli and swing Rosie into defense. I think that's a no-brainer, right? If you can get rid of Dan Houston and get Bont, go ahead. Dan
Houston's a big problem. Very different to those other guys. Like
100%.
We're expecting Max Gorn to still average your 120 something for the year, and you still hope that Neal and Zerrett can get the 115s and an occasional spike score. I lost all confidence Dan Houston's getting those scores, so I think move him for sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think if you can jump off Dan Houston this week, if you have him, go right ahead. Hawksy, fellas, how are we? Was hoping I could go Long, Erasmus, and Kako to McCarthy, JHF, and Darcy. I'm 20k short. Do I go Darcy and Keys? And then he backs it up with, or if you've got a forward below 552, there's a genuine shout to be dangerous. Let me know. Now, I've just done quick research here, nothing too special, but I'm in the same sort of situation where I'm not going to have much money and I'm sort of looking for a last forward to finish the squad. I'm looking at guys that have a good, and we've discussed this before, a good season finals run, SuperCoach finals run. few guys that I've sort of got earmarked as, potential ones. Toby Green, Brett Daniels, if he comes back, they're two. Toby Green's definitely one. But Josh Tracy as well in finals goes West Coast, Carlton, Port Adelaide, and Brisbane. I don't mind that, but it sort of just lands in the key forward situation of Charlie Curnows of the world. So any others you could sort of recommend below 452? Rankin's down there now, which unreal. It's Keezus, Luke Parker, Dylan Moore is potential
Jack
one.
Graham.
Jack Graham.
He plays exclusive inside mid. I could get behind it. He tackles his ass off. So
Yeah.
I think it again depends. Are you comfortable with one of those blokes, or do you wait? Like Broad said, I mean, I don't know how many primos you're going to, Hawksy, but do you go to even 21 for now if you've got 5 trades left and wait till round 17 or 18 or 19 and then do another downgrade? You got less weeks to need those extra trades, so you might then unlock enough cash to go to a 540 bloke rather than a 450 bloke. So I think just weigh it up. Do you want to go this week, which means you're buying in that 450 Temu bucket, or do you unlock another 100,000 in 6 weeks' time by downgrading a rookie using 2 trades at the time and go into 550 bucket? I think that's the question I would ask myself.
Yeah, that's a fair call. Corey Blackledge, up to 3,590 ranked. My best year. Can't believe I started 90K last year to be where I am now. Yeah, unreal. Good jump.
Brilliant. Keep going, mate. Keep doing it.
What you want, keep going. Oh, no. Here we go. Hey, Deadly, how did Wits go this week? Asking for a friend. Tell your friend to go shove it, mate.
Isn't he supposed to be dying at home? You can still get on and send messages.
Unreal. I'm doing your job. Neil to Mills could be an option this week. Allows me to move long up to any primo mid and helps me on the buy this week. Thoughts? Depending on trades, I like it.
Yeah, I don't love it and don't hate it. What do you reckon, Broads?
Yeah, I would have preferred to be a week earlier on Mills. But this is the option of using the cash to get to two guys. If you're going to get to Mills, I can see Mills playing a half-back role and staying a keeper. If you can get long up to a primo mid in that budget area, I'm probably going to be in that 550K mark. Then, you're going to pick up some nice guys in that point.
Yeah. Mills and I don't know, let's call it a Nando's or something like that. You're going to expect them to be averaging, 100 for Mills or 105 and 115 for your Anderson kind of bucket of primo mids. Long, you upgrading from about a 90 average, 95 average you would expect, and Neil has sort of looked like 110 or 12 guy this year, more than 115 or 20 guys. So it's not a bad shout because you're unlocking the cash. I think when we're recommending, do you trade these guys now? It's only to unlock cash. I would be okay with it. If you're just going sideways on everyone, I don't see that as it's too early in the year to do luxuries. But if you're unlocking cash to upgrade like that example, I don't mind it.
Like when you're looking at some guys in that price point there, Dacos is still under 560. Took Miller's 525. Josh Dunkley's 516. There's some good guys in this price bracket. Like deceptively good.
Yep. Yeah.
And you could even do...
Yeah.
Caldwell's
he backed
still
it
in the
up
price
to
bracket.
best mid primos to bring in this week, which is sort of answering that question. And there's definitely some guys who
2.9%. Dunkley's only 17%. Like I've had Dunkley in a bit of a ride earlier on, but he's not tagged out of the game. Neil's always tagged.
I'm still chucking Errol in there at 0.1%. Unreal.
I love Heaney too now that all the players
Heaney.
are back. If you want to go there, 560, I think Heaney will be something like that.
546 and 8% owned.
546. There you go.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options, especially now in this point. And if you've got the money for a few of them, then I like them a lot.
Just a Giant Newcomb's 478 and 4.5% owned. Like that's getting a bit wild there, but comfortably sub 500 here, and that's a good.
Even, I mean, Sarong's flying and he's 578. He's still under 45k cheaper than his starting price. Like, there's some great value at this time of year. So yeah, I think that's a good shout. If you can get long to one of those category guys, then do it.
And that's without even mentioning Campbell Chesser is the best value of them all.
We almost got through a pod, Broads, without Campbell Chesser coming up.
I did the number for him on a pod, and he didn't even tune in for it.
I did. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I watched the Campbell Chesser clip and then turned it off. But
I was going to say, watch 30 seconds.
Any further word on Richmond's McAuliffe injury? He did a quad injury at training. I don't think there's actually been an announcement for how long he's out for.
No, they'll update it. They'll update it on Wednesday.
You're saying tomorrow morning they will announce it?
Yeah,
is it?
So there you go.
Boss is in the chat, so.
Oh, thanks, boss. Thanks for answering the questions, even though you couldn't jump on it. No, don't worry. Hawksy, you might be down to 2 trades by like round 18, but it's all for a bit of fun. Might wait and unlock some cash. I mean, if you can wait, unlock some cash, you'll be able to get these forwards that are better and cheaper. And
it's all relative, right? If you like one of those guys at 450, I'm not saying don't go there if you like them, but if you don't like any of them, like if I'm looking at that bucket, I don't love many of those names. I think there's some good ones at 480, but like you said, you're about 20k short of that bucket. So I personally wouldn't like shopping in the 450 bucket at the moment. I'd wait.
Yeah.
Pickles was the name. What's his break even? He might be back down there in 2 weeks, will he? Yeah, he didn't get a big score this week.
472 with a 54 break even because he had a
because he had
a huge game against Melbourne.
What's my Cray worth?
Stuff's up 480 something, I think, or 490.
493,
72.
Yeah, that's the good bucket, but that's what you've already said. You're 20k short of that sort of range. Darcy at 460, and then
I do like
one of those
in that range too. Matt Kennedy's 494, I believe, something like that. So yeah, it's definitely
he was good. He was good today, Matt Kennedy. He's been a hard watch since I've owned him, but he was very good today.
From Ivana, trade out Zach Johnson or Angus Clark this week. What's break evens looking like?
I would, but I don't like the scoring he's got at the moment.
I don't like Zach Johnson's job security. Is my only question. If you said to me they're both staying in the team all year, I'd tell you trade Clark because I think Johnson's role will score better. But I think when Ridley, Reid, Redman all come back in round 17, they'll move Clark back to a wing and Dersma is injured, so he'll probably miss, or Luau will go out. So Clark will stay in the team, and I don't know if Zach Johnson will. I could be wrong, though, because like I said earlier, Brad Scott has said a couple of these young blokes are staying in, but we just don't know which ones he's talking about.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Another reminder that Carlton have lost to North and Richmond this year.
They've been 2 of my most enjoyable games of the season, Hawksy. I've loved every minute of them.
Have a Carlton dry on hand. Bugger. I'll post a video around somewhere. Carlton dry, more like Carlton lost. Bloody useless team. Guessing game. How many people what percent of people would trade in Pat Lipinski this week? There's a good chance a few people jump on him after his big game, and he's still semi-cheap.
Surely not. I was thinking, am I missing the point here? Like, it's going to be a single digit.
Negative 21 break even for 355k against West Coast.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it yourself. But I'm interested to see actually how many people do go there, because
let's look at that later in the week. That might be interesting to look up. But
yeah, we'll have a look at that in the panic room, I reckon, if I remember. Someone reminds me. Alrighty. Kev, hey guys, love your work. If Carlton going to play 2 rucks, what are we doing with TDK?
100% trade. If Pittonet is named on whatever, it's a Wednesday naming too, because they play. We don't have to wait long till Carlton's next loss. This is fantastic. They play Thursday night, so it's a beautiful thing. It's only a few days away. If Pittonet is named, I will be trading TDK 100%. If Pittonet isn't named though, I think I have to hold, especially given Port showed their hand a bit by subbing Sweet, that Vicentini is their preferred ruck. So if it's TDK versus Vicentini, for example, I'm not trading TDK this week if that's the case, and I'll just be a little bit more patient. But if Pittenet's in, he's gone.
Yeah, you the same, Broads?
Yeah.
Pittenet's in, TDK gone.
Yeah, the proof is that, and the other part is a lot of it. Be curious to see as the year pans out when the announcement of whether TDK is staying, leaving, or what the go is, and like a lot of Gold Coast guys were the commitment of if he doesn't sign on, like for Matt Rao, if he didn't sign on by the buys, that he's out. And the buy is well and truly been for Carlton, and he hasn't shown the commitment to them. So you'd expect him to be on his way out. If he's on his way out, why are they going to look after his best wishes? They need to look after the future of the team, and the future of the team then is Pittenet currently.
So I saw.
Geez, that would be good if Pittenet's their future.
No, the future of the team.
This is just making me happy. See, my SuperCoach scores have sucked, but you do a podcast, you talk a little bit about Carlton's future, and you just get happy all of a sudden. It's great.
The future of the team is not but anyway. All right. I did see something maybe last week that TDK wants to stay, but the price that he wants and the price that Carlton wants is about $4 million off or something ridiculous. So
just a couple of bucks. It's a couple of bucks.
It's I can't remember who. It might have been Mitch Cleary, but it was ridiculous amounts of money off. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I know there's loyalty and stuff, but if he stays at Carlton when he's being offered 1.7 mil, he's a dead set idiot. Let's be honest. You got to take that money.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah, I mean,
for as many years as it is too, because it's a long-term deal.
Long-term, multi-million-dollar deal. Yeah. We're unlucky enough to not be in that situation. Unfortunately, we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jackson as a C option this week versus Marshall? DCAM just went 156 on him. I haven't even looked at the games this week, but have a quick look.
Dacos is playing West Coast.
Dacos versus West Coast. Is that okay? So
Saturday night.
Bond probably has a matchup. If you have any Gold Coast midfielders, I don't mind them as a sneaky VC. Any Hawks against North? Yeah, there's a lot of good options for VCs, and I don't mind the Jackson one this week. But wait and see if Sean Darcy's named. Like, obviously, it doesn't particularly matter, but it will help if he is the solo ruck. But some options will pop up throughout the week. From Grant, sell Cherry to Mills to unlock cash. What do you reckon? Again,
it's unlocking cash, so I don't want to say definitely not, but the Cherry's doing nothing wrong.
Broads?
Yeah, I like the idea of moving to Mills, but it's very sidewaysy. If you unlock the cash, you'd have to be moving from somebody at that, 350, 400k indoor genuine primo. You'd want to make sure you're spending the money, not just sideways in two guys. It's just wasteful.
Jeez, I'm just reading some of these comments in this chat. A lot of the blokes are bagging at Essendon.
I think we've hit a nerve with Ivana. Ivana doesn't love this. Bagging Essendon does not affect us. It's been 23 years of rubbish. We went through the saga. Our club is junk. Right. We don't care.
You can't be Essendon if you never Essendon started in the first place.
That's right. It still gives us great joy that Carlton are in the position they were in because they thought they were good in their shit.
I'll bring this wonderful one up from Hawks. Hexagon, Octagon, Carlton's gone.
Didn't I ask you before the pod, Hurls? I said, how'd your team go? And you went, my Supercoach team or Essendon? I went, I wouldn't start with Essendon, mate.
Exactly. We don't. Essendon's the fifth priority.
Someone's a special admirer of yours, Broads, wants to know how your team's going.
We're not answering questions at this time. We're declining all media interaction.
Pulling a Dusty. This is a good one from Kiz. Hurls needs his own segment each week called Blue Smoke.
Yes, let's do it. I mean,
I think we need a separate channel from Insight to just chat footy and just have that as a segment. I feel like, or even just some show just to chat footy, non-Supercoach related, because I feel like it would bang. It would be good fun. Who we like more as an option? Heaney or Nick Dacos, ranked 1.6k and trying to get inside the top 1k. It's still hard to go past Nick, even though he's so highly owned, right?
I think if I'm in that position and I want to take a punt, I'll go Heaney. Like, what are the percentage? Now, that's without looking at the stats. Like, what's the percentage ownership in the top 1,000 there, Placey? If you can get a pod and you're happy to fade Dacos, I think there's going to be some tag games for Dacos, although his draw's not bad. So I'm not saying definitely do that. But it's not a bad shout. You can't just get the same blokes as everyone else, can you?
Dacos is 91% up in the top 1%.
91, is it?
Yeah, 91,
and what's Heaney?
Bear with me, still scrolling.
So I guess this
13.
Yeah, so this becomes a question of are you comfortable letting the Dacos 157 games hurt you occasionally? Because they will happen. You know that. He's a gun. But if you're comfortable that Heaney's going to get the 120s when Dacos might get a 70, then that's where you might make your ground. So I think it depends on what your team looks like. How many anti-pods do you want to have and which ones? I think I'd probably risk it if I was at 1.3K.
Yeah. It's okay, bro. You're looking fresh with the new cut.
Thank you. I was getting a little homeless last week, so we sorted that out.
And we'll finish off tonight by the good people showing love. Kez, we don't need another pod with Deadly on it. And Ivana said Deadly needs his own pod sent up to space.
Just copping it.
It's great. It's good fun. We do have fun here. That'll probably do us for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone for an hour 40 again. And haven't watched any footy this week. That sucked in. Yeah,
they should pay you out. If you kick 0 goals 6, it should count as a goal, shouldn't it?
Than kicking 1 goal.
I know. Sportsbet, do us a justice payout or something. Come on, Sportsbet. Lock your Bramble responsibly, by the way.
It's a bonus bet. Come on.
Unreal. Yeah, that'll do us for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But before we wrap up, we are all about breaking the stigma here at Inside Fantasy Sports. We just want to let you know that the world is a better place with you in it. And, our 3 DMs are open. Hurls, Horses inbox is open. Squid's inbox open. Anyone on the NRL side, if you're friends with them, their inboxes are open at all times. So if you are struggling and you do need help, there is some great out links in there to chat to, and even just having a chat with someone, going for a walk, all that could be helpful. And yeah, I'd much rather chat to you on here and speak about you than speak about you in another light. So you do matter, and yeah, we want to preach that. So for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Deadly. Hurls to my right, and even further to my right, we've got Flanders. Thank you and goodbye.